Peace and grand rising to the air. Today is January the 3rd, 1440 on the sun calendar, 1441 on the moon calendar, and 2020 on the Greco-Roman calendar. Today we are going to talk about the sovereign Moorish American gold and silver economy as we move into it. We are already fully immersed in the gold and silver economy. It might not feel like it to some, but it's already here. And that is why you see the changes happening over on the previous economy. So, and we're also going to, but before we go into the Moorish American gold and silver economy and what we are doing, we want to give just a couple of Moorish American ancient ancestral remedies for a couple of things that we deal with on a regular basis. Because that's what this is all about, is giving remedy or sharing remedy, because we get remedies from you all too as you share what's going on with you. So this is a sharing session. It's not really teaching. I'm not teaching, I'm just sharing information, and then I receive the information that you all share as well. So the sovereign Moorish American gold and silver economy, we'll talk about that. But first I want to say a couple of things about the energies, because the energies have changed here recently, and I know many of you can feel it already. And for some, based on your sign, your ancient sign, as well as how you detect energy, it will determine how you respond to those energies. I will say this, that the way you respond to the energy changes, because I mean, you may not know it or not, but we are absolutely in flight in terms of the grand rising. We are in flight, completely flying right now. And sometimes the altitude changes as we go up, change the energy and the pressure. When you get into an airplane, and this is as an example, when you get into an airplane and you start going up, the pressure changes. And it has an effect on us physically. And for some, their ears start popping when the change happens. For others, they feel dizzy. For others, it's exhilarating. And for others, it's scary. And for others, it just, I mean, it has a plethora of, we respond to it in different ways. That's exactly what's going on now. We are responding to the energy changes, and not only are we responding to them, but we're actually causing them. We're that powerful. So you don't always have to be in a responsive or reactive mode. You can actually be in responsive and reactive mode as well as creation mode, and you can create the energy. But I said that to say that, you know, we're all responding differently, so let's give each other the benefit of the doubt. And actually, it's not even the benefit of the doubt, because that's actually the opposite of full faith and credit in one another. And when I say full faith, it's not faith like the church faith. It's our faith that our brothers and sisters have our best intentions at heart, because we all do. At the base of all that we do, we want and wish and will the best for one another. If we didn't, we wouldn't be here. So as we move forward, it is just a suggestion that we keep that in mind. And as we keep that in mind, there are some things.
Michigan territory, Islam.
Grand Rising, there are some things that we can do to There are some things that we can do to make our vibrations higher, maintain our high vibration, because you can't really make them go higher. It's something that happens within us naturally, and that's why we're made of what we're made of, because it's a natural progression that as things happen naturally, our bodies have that chemical reaction to them. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to bring up today. One of those is this. When we wake up in the antemeridian, which they call morning, we spell it M-O-O-R-N-I-N-G, because it's all about the Moors every day. Our energy is easily aligned with our higher, stronger, sovereign energy when we start the day by drinking a large amount of water, because this is the age of Aquarius, and that's not even a joke. Drinking water first thing in the morning, large amounts of water, will help get your energies aligned with the age that we're in. If you wake up in the morning, let's say, for example, and you feel off, or you feel like you've lost a little bit of that ancestral connection, if you drink a large amount of water, and when I say large, I mean at least 30 large gulp swallows, or as much as you can fit in your stomach, water, and you wait maybe 10 minutes, you'll feel that connection more actively in your body. And it never leaves, it just circulates smoother with water, because water is a conductor of the higher frequencies and the electricity and the electromagnetic energy. So again, large amounts of water and all of that, because we did experience a significant shift even between yesterday and today. Significant. I don't know if any of you felt it, but when I woke up this morning, the shift was so palatable. I could feel it in my spirit and in the physical. So water, water, water. It's a great shift, so let's flow with it, because it's just helping us ascend. This action of drinking lots and lots and lots of water while expressing gratitude to our ancient celestial ancestral energies, whatever you call your higher self, if you express gratitude along with, while you're drinking each swallow of water, watch how quickly the energies meet with all that we have as our expectations in this grand rising. And with all of us doing that together, it's going to increase that even more. As does everything that we do. Grand rising. Welcome, nobility. Grand rising. This action will almost instantly strengthen our connection to our most powerful, sovereign, all-knowing, always providing, grand rising, welcome, Empress. Our always present, always providing ancient energy. So again, large amounts of water, and even throughout the day, same thing, large amounts of water, as much as possible. Doesn't mean you can't drink other things, or that you shouldn't drink other things, but water is going to be the most helpful in this, as we move through this brand new age of the Moors, because that's really what this is about. It's all about the heirs and our connection to the ancient ancestral energies that have been the foundation of all that there is. Secondly, another morning action that we can take involves sea salt. We are called the salt of the earth because of the cleansing chemical action that salt manifests. Whenever salt is applied to anything that is carbon-based, it will immediately make that being or thing more alkaline and less acidic, more healthy and less dis-ease. It is suggested that we brush our teeth with sea salt, or if you prefer whatever your chosen toothpaste is, using it after using your chosen toothpaste. Do a sea salt swish in your mouth for at least 5 minutes. For those who want to increase their body's alkalinity, a teaspoon of sea salt to at least a half glass of water is suggested also. And that can be done anytime throughout your day, the teaspoon of sea salt and at least a half glass of water or more. Always let your ancestors be your ultimate first and last guide in all that is done. These are sovereign suggestions based on ancestral knowledge. So these are things that our great-grandmothers did back in the day that kept them looking young and living well for many, many, many years. Most lived to over 100 years old. Sea salt is also used to cure meat, so that's actually further affirmation of what we're saying, even about, because we're not meat, but it's used to clean and clear the bacteria. So it's used to clean wounds as well. So that's why while we were asleep, they used to say, oh, you're just pouring salt in the wound, and they made it seem like it was a bad thing, but that's actually what we were supposed to be doing. So those who have wounds of any kind that's associated with a highly acidic body like cancer and things like that, pouring salt on the wound regularly. And back in our ancient times, we used to actually fill the whole wound with salt regularly until that wound healed. And then drink lots and lots and lots of water so that can be circulating throughout your body to make it more acidic. More alkaline, rather. Having a more alkaline body can be done almost instantly. So when I say instantly, it has taken us years to become this acidic. Because when we're born, we're born alkaline, coming out of our mother's womb. And then we start eating regularly the foods, the acidic foods, and drinking things. Like babies drinking more milk than they drink water, that makes them acidic. So it's going to make them respond a certain way. And in our sleep, they used to give the children medicine and things like that to assist us. That really wasn't to assist with that. It was actually to make it worse, the acidic levels. Because they would tell them, have them drink more milk than they never told us to give our babies water. They said milk, 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 milk. And breast milk is great for the babies as often as possible. And then water should be an additional something that we give as a suggestion to the babies to keep them, to get them used to drinking water and to keep them alkaline so that they don't have to deal with the things that we've had to deal with. We want to make our heirs better, faster, stronger, more competent heirs right off the bat. So since sea salt is natural, it's always going to be good for us, the natural people of the land. So we're getting back to all that is natural for us. And for that, we are grateful. Islam. Okay. So now we want to get into the Constitution and the ancient gold-backed economy that is the foundation of all economies. And I'm going to illustrate to you how we, the Moors, are the foundation of how we, the Moors, are the foundation of all economies. We've always been there in the background of the economy, just watching to see how things are done. We've always been quiet back there, but the rest of the earth already knows that the economy, we've tried different things, and we've allowed others to do different things and experiments. But at the beginning and end of the day, the economy always comes back to the heirs. That's why we have lived forever. We've been here since time immemorial, and we're going to be here into perpetuity. So in starting this conversation about this economy that we're in, that we have, and we've been the catalyst, all Moors have been the catalyst for this new economy, this new gold-backed sovereign economy. How did we do that? We started circulating en masse, and when I say en masse, I mean the most gold-backed document that has ever been circulated since we've been here together. With each gold-backed document that's been circulated, that's all gold-backed affidavits that have a gold clause in them, and even the ones that don't have a gold clause, if they have a sovereign autograph on them, then it counts as a sovereign document, a sovereign gold-backed instrument that has been circulated, and all we did really is just infiltrate and fill up that fake system until it could no longer stand the weight of the sovereign gold instrument. And so that was the purpose of all that we were doing, is for us to rise. That's our purpose, is to rise and to stand our own economy, stand in all that is our own economy. Okay. And we're just restoring that which always was. It never left, it never went anywhere. It's always been here, and we're just saying we're here. Okay. So now, the basis that we will use today, because this is not the only basis, but it's a basis that we're going to use today to illustrate to you, Moors, to all Moors, that we are the basis of this whole gold-back economy and how to begin moving in it. And when I say begin, I mean begin for this phase, because anyone who has filed a lien or an affidavit or done a court action and has already put the gold-back sovereign economy in motion for them. And until those things are done, if there are any Moors who've not written a single affidavit and you've not sent in a single affidavit or anything like that, you need to do that. You need to start demonstrating, because the gold-back economy is active for those who are active. That's why the prophet said what he said about needing active Moors and not passive Moors. Okay, so Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1 of the Constitution for the United States that number one, we wrote the very first one for us to share among our nation, our sovereign indigenous nation. That was the original Constitution. And then what we did was we created the hybrid foreign Albions known as modern Europeans. We created them. And then a hypothecated version of our original American Constitution was then made and given to them. And actually, we didn't hypothecate our own, because we can't. All we did was give them one for them to use and to live by and to go by. And we've always enforced that on them. And then they hypothecated it and said, okay, we're going to just create a corporation and we're going to hypothecate this document like that. And that's what they did. So now, Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1, no state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver a tender in payment of debt, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law or law impairing the obligation of contract, or grant any title of nobility. So we want to focus on, we can talk about any of these parts of this section. We want to focus on make anything but gold and silver, coin and tender in payment of debt. That's the part we want to focus on so that we can discuss this economy that we have created and are in. So let's first start with anytime we're discussing anything, we want to discuss it by way of definition or definitions, because we're the Phoenicians who have put these definitions, the original definitions, on the record. So let's talk about gold, so that it can be clear to all of us that this is all about the heirs and how we are to operate and what we are to enforce. Gold, it's a noun. It's a heavy yellow metallic chemical element with a high degree of ductility and malleability. It is a precious metal, and it's used in the manufacture of coins, jewelry, alloys, etc. The symbol is AU. The atomic weight is 197.2, and its atomic number is 79. Ductility and malleability. Ductility. Think of the word conducting. So it needs to be, so gold is something that conducts electricity very well to a high degree. And so do we. Malleability is its ability to adapt to whatever it is, to bend without breaking. We are also that as we move into this new economy, and that's why I talk about drinking water, because it's going to make us more ductile, more able to conduct electricity better, so that we receive the answers that we need to receive from the ancestral Akashic records that are ingrained on our DNA and our cells, our ONA in our cells, rather. We don't have DNA, we have ONA. Number 2 is gold coin, and I want to focus on gold coin because, again, gold means gold coin. So, and a gold coin is gold. So now let's see what a gold coin is. Let's give another definition of a gold coin. So I looked up the word sovereign. And if you look right up there at the top, the root word of sovereign is S-O-V, right up here at the top of the screen. It says a coin or the sovereign. And that's what the British Moors gave it, that definition, or the British. And you could say either one of those, even though they're not interchangeable, because one is the hybrid, which is the British with the capital B. And the British Moors are the original indigenous British. So we were the first on all land masses. Okay. And then if you look right down here, the word sovereign, right here. It's a noun, and it says one who exercises supreme power, a supreme ruler, the person having the highest authority in a state as a king, emperor, queen, etc., a monarch. And again, that's all Moors are the highest in their state. All Moors. All Moors are monarchs. So when you see something like a monarch butterfly, you see thousands and thousands and thousands of them. because that's what we are. We're all emperors, okay, and empresses. Number two, a group of persons or a state that possesses sovereign authority. Now, this definition comes from a dictionary that was written by someone other than us. And although it is an older, unabridged dictionary, it's still not written by us, so they're going to put persons in there. We're not persons. We're sovereigns. And number three, any of several gold coins. So again, we are the sovereign on the land. We're the money on the land, therefore we can create as much as we need to do whatever it is we need to do. And many times I tell people when they ask me questions about can they do this and can they do that, and or this didn't work or that didn't work, I say go look up the word sovereign or sovereignty. Go look those words up so that you will know that your demonstrations are based on you and your sovereign status. And you have to know your sovereign status in order to demonstrate properly and competently. And it's one thing to say you know, but it's another thing to apply it every day. And that's what we're doing even where this economy is concerned, is we're going to continue applying our sovereign status without getting permission from anyone that is not us, okay? And when I say us, I mean each one of us gets permission from within to do whatever we need to do. And then we assist one another, and we'll make that clear as well. So that is the clear illustration right there that you, the sovereign, all of us, the sovereign, we're the money, we're the economy, we're the gold, we're it, we're the coins, we're all of that. So when people say, you know, well, where's y'all's money? Go look in the mirror. That's it. So now all we do is, by our sovereign hand, create said money if we want it to manifest a certain way. Sometimes we, you know, some say they, you know, some have gotten used to using paper money. Well, paper money comes in the form of sovereign affidavits and writs and liens, etc., and sovereign credit instruments. So let's now talk about that. As we move into the new ancient gold-backed economy, we want to emphasize the 5 main sovereign actions that we suggest all Moors do at this time. And we'll tell you why we're going to do those shortly. So we've illustrated that we are the money. We're it, period. There are no others. It's the heirs. So in ancient English, here's the things that you want to do, all of these written in ancient English. Number 1, the name change to sovereign appellation, so the name change document that we're all familiar with, and the judicial proclamation, those 2 documents. And it's best, some have received those documents in common English, and as an exercise in learning ancient English, which is nothing, I can't say nothing, it is actually all languages encompassed in one. So ancient English is a mix of Latin and French and Spanish and all of the languages put together. So because they all came from us in the first place. So in ancient English, the name changed to sovereign appellation and judicial proclamation document. The universal sovereign termination for all corporate contracts. The lien on all corporations attempting to violate your sovereign status and resources. And number 3 is the way that we save ourselves first. We don't want to go out and just attempt to save everyone else while we're drowning. We want to save ourselves first. So that's where the termination of corporate contracts and our sovereign demonstrations of it comes into play. And that document is going to be so key for everything that we do thereafter. Number 4, execute a sovereign Moorish American consular court action on all corporations that you lien. So for every lien that you've done, you need to do a court action to follow that. And court actions don't take that long to do. They take about 10 minutes to do, but the research for them is what takes the time. But it's worth it. Number 5, place a sovereign universal one-page declaration of sovereign original indigenous trust on the public record. And that document is simply saying that you have a trust on the public record, a sovereign original indigenous goldback Moorish American trust. It's on government letterhead, and everyone should have the government letterhead. If you're on this call and you don't have the government letterhead, if you will speak up, one of the empresses will send you the sovereign Moorish American, the Moorish National Republic federal government letterhead. Does everyone have the Moorish National Republic federal government letterhead in red in all lowercase letters, so that you can exercise your right as government on the land? If you don't, put something in the chat, or if you're calling in by phone, just be ready to state your email address so we can send it to you. Islam. And then number 6 is where we're going after this.
Peace.
Islam.
How are you? I would love to get, I'm sorry. I would love to get a copy. Do I do it via email to this number or what?
You can actually send a text message to my number, and I'll send it to you via email, or Princess Ali will send it to you. Either one of us will do it. Most likely it will be me, but sometimes in our date, she is just. Princess Ali, do you mind sending the letterhead to those who need it?
I don't mind at all. I will start sending them now if they will put their email in the text.
Yes, Islam.
Can I give you my email now or what?
Well, know that this call goes out on YouTube. So if you want to text it to me, you can text it to my number at 334-29.
Oh, I need a pen. Hold on, please. Give me a second.
Those who don't want to say their email out on the public record, you can just text it to me, and I'll either myself or Princess Ali will send it to you.
Okay, I got one other question. I'm so sorry. I have one other question. My son is being held in Eau Claire.
Yes.
And he's trying to get paperwork done, whereas he's challenging the courts because of what they've done. They've done things in the improper way, and he is challenging them, to which whatever they put up on him becomes null and void.
Okay. Let me say this about that question, because we do want to stay on topic.
Yes, ma'am.
We have put some videos out there with regard to first declaring nationality. Is he a nationalized Moor? That's going to be the first question. And that's just a simple, the first document, number 1 here that we just talked about, that first one, name change and judicial proclamation. Those 2 things he needs to put on the public record, and you can do that for him. So if you want to do that for him, go ahead and assist him with that. Let me give you my number.
Yes, I'm ready.
So that you can send for the letterhead, the government letterhead. The number is 334.
334, yes, ma'am.
294.
Yes, ma'am.
9828.
Now, how will you know it's me? Or,
you're going
well,
to
I'm Lady Silver.
You're going to state your affiliation in the text message that you send.
All right.
I'll know it's you. Okay.
All right, darling. Thank you
Islam.
so much. Islam.
You're welcome. Anything for the yes, Islam.
Can I get your name? I'm not familiar. I'm sorry.
I am. My appellation is Light Tajiri Bey. That is my free chosen national name. Light Tajiri Bey.
Light.
And yes.
I'm not
Like
hearing you very.
It's like light bulb. Let me make sure you can hear me.
Light. Yes, ma'am. Well, I have some hearing loss. Light.
Is Tajiri is Tajiri.
T-A-G.
J.
J. Okay.
I-R-I. So it's Tajiri.
I or A? I'm
I.
Tajiri.
Mm-hmm.
I. All right.
Bey.
Yes, ma'am.
And Bey. Bey is the title of nobility. B-E-Y.
Bey. All right.
Islam.
Thank you.
So glad you're with us, Empress.
Islam.
So glad to connect with you, Islam.
Thank you. Thank you, Islam.
Peace to you.
Peace to you.
Those. So we want to be sure that a sovereign declaration of trust is placed on the public record. Using Moorish government letterhead with all that we do, because each and all Moors are part and parcel for their government. All Moors are the government. All Moors are powerful and have the authority as the sovereigns, and we just put the definition to sovereign. Sovereign is the supreme in all. And that's another reason why when we do our demonstrations, you know, those demonstrations have everything to do with us and our understanding of them. And we have, you know, we're so powerful. We just have to know how powerful we are, and then continue our study of our sovereign status. Okay. Islam. So then, number 6, okay. Number 6 is going to be it's one of the most important things we can do. And it reads as follows. Uh-oh, I'm going to go ahead and mute because there's a little bit of noise coming in the background from some of the lines. If I mute your line, please don't take it personally. And then when you want to unmute, just *6 and you can unmute, and then *6 to mute again. Islam. But we want to make sure that everyone can hear. Number 6 reads as follows. Clear energies daily and throughout the day, actually, and stay unified as we move to the gold-back economy, which will consist of creating sovereign gold-back treasury instruments. Along with this process, know this, that we are our own sovereign peacekeeping police, Sharifian peace officers, and all commerce that we need, we will provide for ourselves as we have done since time immemorial. Very important. Who in the world would take their wealth and tell a thief to guard their wealth? Or tell a foreign, someone that is not them, to guard their wealth? No one does that. No one does that. And we're not going to do it either. We are the sovereign peacekeeping police. We're here to keep peace on our land. It's our land. And that's what we're going to continue to do. That is how competent heirs govern. So now, where are we going with all of this? Fully operating in our sovereign status as the heirs in all things, governing all resources, all commerce, all land, everything. We govern all of it. Now, how do we get started? If you are a merchant, a business more, an entrepreneur, And we're going to go into that word for just, I'm just going to give you a brief definition of that word as well, and the breakdown of entrepreneur, because it's very powerful. There's a reason why a French word or a Latin word like entrepreneur was so commonly adopted in a common English society. That's a very powerful word, and it applies to the heirs. It has everything to do with what's within, and we'll give a brief definition shortly. So we've shown you how you're the goal and everything. So now how do we proceed? Business, merchants, etc. This is what we do. On the public record here today, we state and suggest that all Moorish American merchants, that's one of our words. A merchant is a Moor who casts spells, casts and breaks spells by chanting. That's really what a merchant is, M-U-U-R-C-H-A-N-T-S, merchant. That means that in commerce, you're always casting and breaking spells. Businesses and sovereign commercial entrepreneurs. Entre means intra or within. Pre means before. And nur means light. Nur or nora. Nura means light. So entrepreneur means those whose light was within them before all others. So it's really, and that's a commercial word as well. It's still a commercial term. It's a spiritual term, but it's a commercial term also. Because it indicates that we are the first. Not only are we the first, but in commerce, there is a light. Islam, there is a light within us in commerce that we emanate out to others in all that we do. So today on the public record, let's see, just a moment. So today, on the public record, all Moorish American merchants, businesses, and sovereign commercial entrepreneurs shall place on the public record the documents listed above, which is those documents that we just talked about, 1 through 6, knowing the following. Know that you are a proclaimed Moorish American, because we're talking about the goldback system. Okay? That's the heirs. Yes, in the chat with regard to the emails and et cetera. Thank you. Thank you, Empress Princess, Empress Alexandra. Number 2, as sovereigns, each one of us stands response able. That means able to competently respond for our actions, spiritual growth, and our own freedom. We each, both jointly and severally, assist one another as our own saviors with this in mind. We ensure ourselves. All building, construction, manufacturing, and repairs are our own sovereign responsibility. What do I mean by that? As we move into this new economy, many have talked about things like insuring a conveyance, etc. Here is what happens with all of that as we continue to gather commercially. We're in the transition now where that is concerned, and this is what it's going to look like as we transition. If there is a conveyance event, a conveyance accident, something has happened, whatever, you have a wreck. And it's not even called a wreck for us. It's not even an accident for us. It has other meanings and other meanings. It's more a conveyance event. Those who will insure and fix the conveyance or replace the conveyance is the heirs, us. We will only go to those who are of the bloodline and birthright and proclaimed as such on the public record, and we will only exchange sovereign credits, gold and silver, sovereign credits for that. And again, the sovereign credit piece, I'll explain it briefly right now. That piece is, we have nationalized the SWIFT system. And by nationalizing it, all we did was put it in red in all lowercase letters for us. Okay? And when we put all systems in red in all lowercase letters for us, then we can use the structure that we have, knowing that you don't call what you're doing the same thing as they used to call it. God has arisen and is naming things properly. So things like, again, Cash App, PayPal, bank accounts, etc., those are now sovereign resources. They're not those that were claiming them before. It does not belong to them. It belongs to the heirs. So when we make movement or we convey energy on those resources, the energy that we convey is sovereign energy, so we have to name it as such. So whenever someone sends Cash App, PayPal, bank account, electronic funds transfers now, we both ensure that they have terminated all corporate contracts so that that conveyance is insured. In other words, that means that the corporates can't take anything from it. Okay? And that is how the new economy works. It looks a lot like the previous, but the previous is actually a hypothecation of the economy that we've always had since time immemorial. Okay? So when there's a conveyance event, then those who are the Moorish mechanics, because we have Moors who can fix conveyances, Grand Rising Empress, we have Moors who can fix conveyances better than anyone else on this earth. We have Moors who know exactly where to source the resources, because those resources are ours too, the metal and all of that. That's coming from our vast estate. And everything that we need comes from our vast estate. We're using all natural resources to do everything that we do. And so we are the heirs to that. We don't use synthetic and fake and false things. We use natural things. And again, this is a grand rising, so as we're moving into our full godness on the land,
Islam,
it's going to be important, grand rising, it's going to be important that we ensure that the documents that cover that resource are our sovereign documents, and that we have used liens and court actions to remove the corporate off of those resources. And so, and then we police and all of that. All of that is us. Okay? So for all resources, that is what we do. And this is not a process that's going to have that is fully manifested in all its glory today. It's already in action. We're already doing everything that I just named. We're already doing it. We've been policing our own selves and our own things. We just thought that we were doing it by using corporate, but we weren't. It was us doing it the whole time. Many more were a part of the corporate police quote-unquote system. Many of us have military experience. So we learned in that corporate status, and now we're bringing what we know to our nation and putting the sovereign documents ahead of our actions. We're doing the same actions, but we're putting those affidavits out in front of us and notifying everyone that we're the military, we're the police, we're everything. But here we're notifying you that we're that for our Moorish nation and no one else. Okay? And because we are the law and we are the government, it will be a peaceful movement. Peaceful movement. Okay? The peace, we're peacekeepers, period. Everywhere we go, when we leave that place and go someplace else, peace will have reigned in the place that we were at previously. Every place that the Moors go, that place should be better off because we were there. Earth will be no different. And no place on earth will be any different that we go as we continue to grow and know who we really are. Number 3, all merchants, businesses, and sovereign commercial entrepreneurs shall use only gold and or silver in all exchanges. Gold-backed sovereign credit, and let me interject here, and instruments are equal to gold and silver in all exchanges, since they are backed by the heirs who have terminated all corporate contracts and stand as not surety, but the creditors to all nations at earth. That's the difference between the corporate that we came out of and where we are now, is we're not standing as surety for anything. We're the creditors to it, to all. Surety means that you can exchange that for us, that, you know, corporate whatever, and they did that back in the corporate where they would say, okay, well, they agreed to be the citizens, that's surety, so we'll just throw them in jail. That's what that whole jail piece was all about. Is someone agreed, some sovereign agreed to stand surety for something. And them, they just want the energy. You know, the corporates just want the energy. But the sovereigns, we don't stand surety for anything. We are the creditors to everything. Surety is on the same level as whatever it is you're exchanging. So surety is property. Whereas the creditor stands above everything. And that's who we are. We are far above all property. And United States corporation company citizens are property. So they need to declare their nationality so that they don't have to be property. And that is how we are going to, let me read the final sentence as well. It says, the Constitution for the United States and all of its sovereign affirmed treaties are enforced at all times. So for the sovereign merchants, businessmen, and entrepreneurs, you're going to need to have those documents on the public record because we're moving further into manifestation of the economy, the goldback economy. Now, you've already manifested it with liens and court actions and sovereign writs and affidavits on the public record that have gold clauses in them or not have gold clauses because, again, we're the creditors to all of that. So the goldback economy is already here. We're just going to be making improvements or not, and it's not even really improvements. We're just going to be putting some manifestations in place so that it manifests more the way we want it to manifest because we can create this however we want to create it. And that's all Moors. It's not, and when I say we, that's what I mean, all Moors. We all have something to bring to the table, so no one has to be waiting for anything. We go ahead and demonstrate who we are, and then we go from there. Okay? And we'll be putting out the information as those manifestations, because there'll be some physical manifestations of our sovereign status and all of that, aside from the affidavits that all of us have already manifested. Okay? So with that, I don't have anything further to share at this time. Are there any questions or comments about that or anything of that nature?
Islam.
Islam.
Yes, sis. What do you mean in clarity when you mention about the instrument?
So, for example, a sovereign goldback instrument is a lien, a writ.
Okay.
There are some sovereign creditor instruments. On, let's see, I believe it was September 2018. That we put the sovereign credit instrument on the public record. Okay, that was an example for that time period of 2018. We were putting that on the record to let everyone know that we know we're the creditors. That's number one. That's why it was first put out there, is so that everyone knows we're awake, so they can get in their rightful place, and so that we can continue to grow unencumbered. That's why we did that. And it was also a sample of where we start to begin creating our own sovereign credit instrument. Now, since that time, we've learned that our sovereign credit instrument should be in red and all lowercase letters. We've learned that. And we've also learned that we are the Treasury, we are everything. We're the bank and all of that. So we're now preparing to to be that. Not to act, but to be that. The corporates were acting, we're the real. So we're going to be putting out further creditor instruments, goldback creditor instruments that each more can create in their own, right from where you are, on government letterhead, so that you can use it. And now remember, those Moors who are sovereign merchants, you Justice Dearmore, okay, we'll do that. So Justice Dearmore, there's a link on Facebook, on my Facebook page, and you can get that link there.
Islam, I'll go to it. Yep, I've been getting a lot of interruptions and calls and stuff from people. Seems the policy controllers are getting a little busy, and so we're keep moving people out of their clutches. Islam.
We got you. Islam. So we're going to, are there any other questions or comments, etc.? Because we are going to be putting out we're going to begin commerce using sovereign credit instruments, the most competent that with the information that we've been given, and with the processes that have already been put in place since time immemorial. Okay, so the same way that we changed the earth with liens and court actions, we're going to continue changing the earth with liens, court actions, and sovereign credit instruments, creditor instruments. And these instruments will be created by you, the creditors, and the sovereign merchants, the Moorish merchants. So, for example, if I had something that I was a merchant of and I was selling something, I would make sure that each customer who comes or calls, I would say to them, in order for you to buy this, you have to have terminated all corporate contracts. And I've even had one of the Moors who wanted to, because I don't take fiat at all. But I've had Moors who wanted to give, and I said, okay, well, you have to terminate all corporate contracts before I'll accept anything from you. And when they terminated the corporate contracts, they can do it verbally over the phone, or they can do it in writing, or both. But I've had them, before I'll even give them because you all don't really see a PayPal or Cash App out there for me, because I don't want just anyone giving to it. It has to be sovereign Moors using goldback sovereign creditor instruments. You must be a declared Moor, and the sovereign exchange must be a truly sovereign exchange. It has to be goldback. And that's why I keep it from being out there like that, so that we can make sure that every exchange is insured. And that keeps the fake corporate commercial mercenaries doing business as IRS, etc. It keeps them from interrupting the conveyance of the gold and silver. They can't interrupt gold and silver conveyances. The same way that policy enforcers cannot interrupt sovereign conveyance movement. Now, have they been doing that to Moors who have declared their sovereign nationality? They have been doing that. It has everything to do with, first, energies, and some don't want to believe that, but you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me, because it's not about feelings and beliefs. It's about the law. It's about energy first. Peaceful, sovereign energy will get you everywhere. And it's also about the documents that have been placed on the public record. Yes, in the chat, Justice Mikael, the question is, can you go a little more in depth about the sovereign insurance credit piece as it pertains to the sovereign responsibilities? Moors, we need to come together in each of the territories, bring our talents to the table, and start assisting one another, so that we don't have to pick up the phone and call a foreigner to do what we can do for ourselves. Those Moors who fix conveyances, the mechanics, we're going to need you, okay? We're going to need mechanics, farmers, administrative people, just like our prophet said. We're going to need, 16 secretaries for each Moor. It's going to be like that. We need those skills and talents and abilities now, because we're going to be doing everything ourselves. And then those who are doing those things, you need to ensure that only those who've terminated corporate contracts can pay you. So that is done before anything else is done. Those things must be done first. Okay? Proclamation, declaration of Moorish American nationality, termination of corporate contracts. Those two things above all else need to be done before a sovereign exchange can take place that cannot be touched by the corporates in any way. So with regards to the insurance piece, the Moors who can fix conveyances, step forward and do this, and watch the resources come to you the way that they're supposed to come to you. The natural resources that we need to fix conveyances is already here on the land, waiting for us to do this that we're doing right now, and saying we're not going to use fake fiat to do what we do. We're going to use goldback sovereign credit and gold and silver in payment of all that needs to be done. And again, those, you know, some might be saying, well, I don't have any gold. You are the gold. We just proved it. So all you have to do is the documents are going to move the gold and silver conveyance back and forth. And then we have some systems that we're putting that are already in place, really. We have some systems that are already in place. Again, the SWIFT system, that's SWIFT in red in all lowercase letters. That system where banks, you know, you can make a bank transfer here and a bank transfer there. Those are not corporate banks. Those are sovereign resources for the heirs. That's why these documents are so important. This is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, so we need to make these changes now. Okay? Make the changes now. You may not see it from start to finish, but in as much as you can see, demonstrate. And that's why we say, just one moment, Empress, just one moment. Let me answer his question completely to a satisfactory level. So again, insurance means our full faith and credit is in us. Anything that needs to be done, we are insuring it because we're going to be doing the work, and we're not going to call foreigners to do it. That's what insurance really is. And then the sovereign credits will be transferred back and forth between those who do the work. So again, let's say I repair kitchen sinks, and those who've been here already know what that's about. If I repair kitchen sinks, then and someone needs their kitchen sink repaired, we're going to come together and ensure that, number one, they're Moorish nationality must be first and foremost, because we're the only ones who can move gold and silver back and forth. And let me say this, these demonstrations are in preparation for what's really coming. So as we demonstrate competence at this level, we get moved up by the ancestors and by the energies. So if I fix kitchen sinks and someone needs their kitchen sink fixed, then I'm going to make sure before I fix their sink that they're a declared Moor, that they've terminated all corporate contracts, okay? And then I'll say, this transaction, my work is in exchange for 100 sovereign credits. How do you want to convey those sovereign credits? It's not how do you want to pay, it's how do you want to convey them, the sovereign credits. The sovereign credits can be an exchange. It can be an affidavit, and we're going to start doing the sovereign credit instruments, sovereign creditor instruments. And when you see the way that those sovereign credit instruments are created, it'll all make sense, because those sovereign credit instruments are coming straight from the United States Treasury. The United States Treasury in red in all lowercase letters is us. It's not anything corporate. And that way, when it comes from the United States Treasury, which is the Moors, we can trade back and forth with other nations all over the earth, because they're part of the United States too. The United States of America, the Moors, not the fakes. We're in red in all lowercase letters, and those who know about in capitis, diminutio, minima, and maxima, and nolo know what that means. So do the study on in capitis, diminutio, minima, so that you can see in Black's Law Dictionary. Go back to an old dictionary and look that up so that you will know what the lowercase letters is all about and how it is not the same as anything corporate. Okay? So we will come together if I'm fixing the sink, and we'll make sure that they have that, and then they will transfer the sovereign credits, whether the sovereign credits come from PayPal or Cash App, or they give a sovereign creditor instrument, okay? And the sovereign creditor instrument is going to be important because of the way that we're setting up our sovereign resource accounts in our banking system, our sovereign goldback banking system. Again, you may not be able to see it from start to finish right now, but it's going to make complete sense as we continue to move in this way. Okay. And some can already see it because all they have to do is look at what the fakes did. They'll know what to do already. But it's going to involve us working together and moving together and having our documents look the same on the public record, which we've done up to now. We've done a great job of using the same letterhead, et cetera, et cetera. Go ahead, Empress. What's your question, Empress?
Yes. When you take your lien in to the bank, is there a certain process that we should use? Should we do affidavit, or what's the process you suggest for doing that?
Before I tell you the process, let's get the concepts correct.
All right.
Who are you taking, and this is why we're doing what we're doing, who are you taking your lien to? Are you taking it to a corporation, or are you taking it to a moorishe sovereign goldback bank?
Well, should be a moorishe goldback standard bank. But, so, yes, I took the document to the corporation, yes.
Okay, and they can't really do anything with gold back because corporations can't hold gold. That's why we lien them. And that's why we're setting up our own sovereign system. Right. Yes.
All right.
So we're going to insure and back our own sovereign system.
Yes.
That's what we're doing now. It's already done. And the thing is, we were backing that fake system too because every time we turned around, we were signing something. And then guess what they would do? The only difference between what they're doing and what we're doing is that they had these things called United States Federal Reserve debt notes that they could hand you over the counter. Well, we're not using those. So what we're doing is the same transfers, electronic transfers, etc. Okay? And we're going to be assisting one another by transferring sovereign credits instead of transferring fake money. Fake, and it's not even money, it's fake instruments and fake fiat. So as we move through this transition, you will be able to come to a sovereign bank, okay, and that's what we're setting. That's all of us are setting that up right now, and that's why we're moving together like we're moving. All of those who are farmers, clerks, have administrative, IT skills, all of that, we're all coming together right now to manifest our bank. Because remember, banking, most people do banking online anyway. When was the last time anyone walked into a bank? Mm-hmm. Think about that. So now we're setting up our own. And that's why those skills and abilities are here. We have more who already know how to write apps and programs and know how to create documents that can be scanned with your phone and the transfer happens of the sovereign credit. But that all has to start with us.
All right.
It has to be created by us and started by us and used by only more.
Yes.
Now, did that answer your question, Empress?
Yeah.
About that?
Islam.
You have to know that
right,
that those corporates can't do anything for you. Now, the ideal situation with that is going to be this. Those banks that are there now, that are closing, the corporate covering is being removed off of that. It has been removed. It's already removed.
Islam, yes.
But now we have to get more who know the concept and they know the difference between a corporate exchange and a sovereign exchange, to take control of that system. And that's what we're doing. It's already being done by all moorishes. It's not just any one of us. All of us are doing it. And it's sovereign goldback credits that are being exchanged. Islam.
Hi. At the risk of sounding pretty bad, I'm going to ask the question anyway. I've been holding this question for a while.
We like those kind of questions. We like those kind of questions. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, a couple of months ago, I told you about my sending in termination of contract to the phone company, but I had to end up paying it because they turned off my service. So when you send in termination of contract on all corporations, that means your rent, your mortgage, your water, your lights, everything. Okay, and then they like they did with me with the phone. It was on for a couple months, and then it ended up getting turned off. What are you supposed to do? Wait for them to turn off everything, and you're sitting in the dark and don't have a roof over your head or whatever, you know. So
no, go ahead, Empress. I'm sorry.
So that's why I haven't sent in all of the termination contract to all the corporations yet.
Okay.
So what am I supposed to do?
The reason why they kept it on for a little while and then turned it off is because you still had corporate contracts. Because by your own words just now, you just said that you didn't send it in to all of them. You didn't want to terminate all the contracts. You just wanted to terminate one and see what happens. And that's okay, Empress.
No, I didn't want everything turned off.
Okay, and that's fair to say. When we're demonstrating, number one, we want to be sure that we demonstrate at the level of our overstanding. When you terminate contracts, you terminate all of them at once, okay? And then whatever it is that you're doing, you can send the sovereign credits to them, but it's not even fiat that you're sending.
Okay.
You're sending sovereign credits to them. So that doesn't mean that when you terminate corporate contract, you're just saying the way that I'm going to be using this resource, I'm going to be using it as a sovereign and not as a citizen.
Okay.
So then you can send the sovereign credit. Now, the reason they wait, though, I'll tell you this. This is been made very clear to me just from listening to the Moors. If you have the sovereign credits to send, you send them. If you have the sovereign credits in the bank, send them. For that, whatever that is, whatever resource that is. You're letting them know that I'm using it as the creditor, and I'm sending these, but this is goldback. This is not fiat that I'm sending you. And then you have to know, and I'll ask this question, and I'm not seeking to blame you, Empress. I'm glad that you asked the question because more and more need clarification on this. Did you, after you sent that, did you pick up the phone and call them and ask them about the account, etc.?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Good. That is a no, because Moors don't know that they don't have to pick up the phone and call anyone about any of that. And they wait a few months to see if all of the contracts are going to be terminated.
Oh, okay.
Not just some. So you can't, that's why we say demonstrate at the level of your understanding, because a termination of all corporate contracts is just that. It's all of them all at once.
Okay.
And then if you're not sure about what the outcome will be, send the sovereign credits until you're sure. Because see, right now, this sovereign credit system is still going to require that sovereign credits be sent back and forth, but it will be at our creation. so we're switching the systems out now. And so, for example, if I have a cell phone or something like that, if the Moor who is doing cell phones is selling them and he only accepts sovereign credit, and I am only giving sovereign credit, and I can actually create sovereign credits with an affidavit or an instrument, then am I ever going to be out of sovereign credit? No, I'm not.
No. Mm-mm.
I'm never going to be out because I can go right to my printer like they've been doing, like the corporates have been doing, and print out a sovereign credit instrument and send it.
And
but
send
see,
it to them.
this is an exercise here in managing, in commercial accounting, where the endless resources on our land is concerned. The resources are endless, but we still have to account for them. So in the Biblioheliotheque, it talks about in the last days, we'll have to give an account for all that we've done. And then the Biblioheliotheque talks about the master who gave the servants the talents, and they were supposed to go out and then come back and give an accounting for what they did. That's what we're doing right now, is creating that system whereby we can account for the vast resources on our estate. But when you do it, you have to do it 100%. But don't do it until you understand it.
Yes.
But see, again, and see, those who waited 3 or 4 months to turn the lights out, they know already what this is. They just want to make sure that we know.
Right. I understand that. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I didn't do it 100%. I just did the one for the one corporation.
Islam. And it's good that you took your time to do it that way so that you can see and then come and ask the question so that, you know, I just love, that's why I say I love these kind of questions. I love them because it offers, we can hear what the heirs are saying, and it gives us all the opportunities to hear exactly what the remedy is. And the remedy is always going to be us and our understanding.
Okay. Gotcha.
Thank you so much for that question, Empress. I absolutely love it. Thank you. And may your demonstrations be blessed.
Okay.
They will be. I know they will be. Justice Gilmore, go ahead.
Islam. Just
Islam.
Make a.
Just one moment, Empress. Just one moment, Empress. Let Justice Gilmore. Go ahead, Justice Gilmore.
Well, I wanted to point out that everything that you've been saying just now is in fact exactly what was being done in 180-degree different direction. It was being done to us instead of us doing it. I started picking up on that fact in like 1992 when I was busy in the automobile business and had to be told certain things to run business and finance. And it's exactly what they were doing because they were autographing things as the as us and treating us as them. So their autograph, when they put their autograph on anything, whatever the amount of money that was on there, essentially that's what they were putting out. And then they would go and do their things with IRS and with the so-called federal banking system, and they would get the money sent to them from all over the place. That's why they can spend time doing vacations and eating at restaurants in the middle of the night and traveling in every place, you know, all over the world. They weren't working for it. They were stealing from us. That's all they were doing. So I can absolutely vouch that what you're saying is so, because I was experiencing it from the other side, seeing and saying, what in the heck are these people doing? How are they doing that? Exactly. And those who are in accounting and who have acted differently and haven't shared this information. Many of them are our own, and they have deliberately kept it hidden and still want to keep it hidden. Islam.
Too late. Too late. We got it
Peace.
all.
I have a question. Oh, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question pertaining to how do you go about becoming, a solvent notary? Be it that I am a notary here in this state, I have to renew, but, I just have to renew it and give them money. The state wants one amount and the county wants another amount. Be it that if I'm dealing with the state, why do I have to deal with the county? Be it that I'm dealing with the totality of the state. And I'm wondering, how would I get a notary as far as solvent or Moors, or I don't know what to call it. And there's another person online that's piggybacking with me that she wanted to ask a question.
Okay, let me respond to your question about the notary piece. I want you to do the study on sovereign and what that means. And the reason I say that is because you don't need anyone's permission to witness documents. And if you're going to be witnessing more, now let's clarify that. If you're going to be witnessing corporate documents, then you have to do what they tell you to do. That's the difference.
Okay.
But if you're going to be witnessing and stamping and sealing and signing Moorish sovereign documents in assistance of your Moorish nation, like many of us do, we do that already, but guess who licenses us? Nobody.
Okay.
We do it ourselves.
All right.
We're sovereign. So we just get our stamps and seals, our sovereign Moorish stamps and seals, and we start assisting our brothers and sisters with the documents.
Does that come through the state, be it that when you're sending off for your stamp and your seal as a notary, be it that if you're...
We get our stamps and seals from all other places. And some Moors even craft their own stamps and seals, and those I need to know who they are, the ones that are able to craft their own seals. But my seals I got from different stamp makers. All I did was we had a seal drawn up the way we wanted it, in lowercase letters, in red, etc. And then we said, okay, hey, stamp maker, seal maker, make this seal right here. And they made the embosser or the stamp or the seal, and then we just go and buy and you don't even need them, but we get the gold notary seals that are clear, that don't have anything on them, from Home Depot, Office Depot, whatever, and give them some sovereign credit for it. And then we stamp and seal our own documents. No one, we go through who for what?
All right.
We're the heirs.
Right.
This is our land. They actually have been going through us to even do what they did. That's why they always needed an autograph, But Empress, now all of that is great news, but you need to be nationalized on the public record.
All right.
Okay? And
I got you.
And then you need to study and demonstrate at the level of your overstanding. When you overstand your sovereign status and you know who you really are, the name change and the judicial proclamation, those two documents together are very powerful. The judicial proclamation, please look at that document and read the case law on it. It's beautifully written. And ensure that you understand it before you do the things you do.
All right. I got
Okay.
you. V?
Islam.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you, and thank you. I don't even know your name, the lady, the goddess that's speaking. But anyway, I thank you for accepting me. But the one thing I'm not quite understanding is, when we give up the corporation, do that mean we sign off if we get our Social Security or if we get VA pensions? Are we signing off saying we don't want that? And if you explained it earlier, I came on kind of late, so I didn't hear it.
Thank you for that question, Empress. First of all, let me say it's awesome to connect with you. I would love to answer that question because I have personal one-on-one experience. The answer to the question is no. You are not terminating the resource that you need.
Oh,
You're not terminating VA and all of that. I get VA, but I get VA in red and all lowercase letters. That is a nationalized resource that I get. And it's in sovereign credit. So all we did, Empress, when you terminate corporate contracts, you're not terminating the resource that you need. You're terminating the corporate's ability to govern it because you're the government and you're the law.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, Empress, listen to me. Yes. Our sovereign status is great news. It is the God spell. It's the great news of the God spell. But you must study to demonstrate it. Okay. So when I put my termination of corporate contracts on the public records, and all the Moors have seen it, it's been put out everywhere. When I did that, I even did, a video on it. And when I did it, the video is on Light to Jury Bay channel on YouTube. And I showed the actual document in that video and what that document looks like. But you also want to put the corporates in black ink. Now, all we're doing is saying, okay, let's just say I'll use my computer as an example. This laptop that I'm using right now. Okay. Let's just say if there was a corporate person who was let's say I get out of my seat, and I go and take a break, and a corporate person sits here and starts using my laptop as if they're me. And then I do a termination of all corporate contracts. And I say, hey, corporation, I've terminated your ability to use my laptop because it was always mine. Because, see, all they did was they saw an empty seat and they thought, okay, I'm just going to use this. And they just start using it and sending out emails. They haven't set up nothing or anything. They just start sending out emails. Well, the emails are going to be, that's all me. Okay? Yeah. And so then I say, hey, this is my resource. I'm terminating all presumed corporate contracts with you because it's a presumption that they said they saw an empty seat and no one was using the seat or the computer. That's what they said. So it's a presumed contract. Well, I say I'm terminating all my contracts with you. And when I terminate the corporate contract with this corporate that was sitting here, the corporate has to get up out of the seat because it's my stuff. Remember, it's my chair and it's my computer. So they have to get up when I'm the real owner and I prove that I'm the real. And then they get out of it and I sit back down and I say, okay, now I'm using my own resources and I'm sending out emails myself. And now everybody knows those emails come from me because the emails sound like me. And I've proven that it's me by my documents.
Yeah, thank you. So, then another question: in order to be sovereign, do you have to be self-employed?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sovereignty. Let's explain sovereignty. Sovereignty for us is in our blood. It's not even something that where you declare yourself a ruler or whatever. It's none of that. If you see somebody that's saying, I'm a sovereign and I'm a sovereign over everybody, then please ignore them.
Okay.
All Moors are sovereign because in our we have the most ancient blood in heaven and on earth.
Yes.
We were
Yes,
here before all others. We are the primogenitors of all other nations. All others. There's no nation older than we are. And in our old, ancient, ancestral writings, our ancestors said, hey, since we were here first, and we created this earth and all of this, why don't we just make sure that no matter how many of our heirs come along, how many generations come along, we're going to make sure that no one can take this from them. But we got to make sure they're competent and see the fakes would say assume the throne, but it's not an assumption. This is the real thing.
To keep it and operate it.
Keep it in, and they have a term where we used to say keep it all in the family. Well, keep it all in the bloodline. You know. And so, Empress,
can I ask you one more?
Sure. Did that answer the two you had?
Yes, you did perfectly. Thank you.
It's exciting, but do your study. That's what I really want to say.
I really am. And credit back, I think you said credit back. So that means...
Creditor instrument, goldback creditor instrument.
Okay, goldback credit instrument. So since we're going to be, it's like being backed by gold, and is this coming, since no matter what, it never stops, I can pull out these gold back sheets or whatever it is this coming from the ancestors, or is it because it's naturally our gold?
Oh, that's a great question, because the answer is both. We are our ancestors' returns. In science, and let me just explain that from a scientific bloodline standpoint. In science, when, let's say, I have a bloodline, and then I birth another, the bloodline is uncorrupted blood because the blood came from me as the mother.
Yes.
In the womb is where the sovereignty of the blood is made. Okay? In the womb is where our heirs get their blood circulating, etc. And it happens actually in the eggs that we carry.
All right.
Okay? That's where the blood is circulated. Well, the blood doesn't change just because the egg has met with that spark of life called a sperm and begins to create life. The sperm is the spark. The egg is the blood.
Thank
you.
The
creation. So we're creating our same bloodline. It doesn't change. It stays the same.
Over and over.
I guess
we have the same blood makeup as our ancestors had from millions and millions and millions of years ago.
Ooh. So is that why the blood, as you're saying, if both parents had AIDS and that baby could be born without AIDS because it takes on its own blood?
It's not necessarily that. It's that AIDS is not naturally occurring. AIDS is something that was created outside of the body.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I hear you. Thank you so much. I don't even know your name. My friend on the other line, she told me about this conference. And so I said, okay, I'm not on my line. I'm on her line. She talked first, and then I came in. I don't know your name. I don't know who you are or anything, but I know we will be connecting again.
Yes, we will, Empress. I am Justice Light Tajiri Bey. That is my free chosen national appellation. We don't really have names. We have appellations because appellation is a lawful way to express that, to express ourselves. I am Light Tajiri Bey. My sovereign born appellation that my sovereign mother gave me, because we all have one where our sovereign mother gave us the sovereign appellation at birth, It's Pauline Denise Ritchie. It's Pauline Denise Ritchie. Okay. So, but like Tajiri Bay is, you know, most know me as Light, L-I-G-H-T. That's my free chosen national name. So, and Empress,
I have it. I'll give it to her.
What is your? Yes. Well, we need to know.
I'm Ishtar.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Wow.
Thank you.
You know
Thank
what that
you.
means? I know you.
Mother of all.
I know you know what that means.
And what is your meaning? Tell me what you got.
Yes, Ishtar, mother of all that reproduces. So
Yes.
that's the same concept as what we're talking about with credit instruments. We can reproduce unlimited.
Okay. Thank you. You just don't know what you've done for me.
Islam. Islam. You've done the same for me, Empress. Islam. It's so nice to
Islam. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It is an honor and a pleasure. Islam.
Truly.
Yes. And Empress.
Yes.
You said your appellation previously, Silver. Did you say Silver? Lady Silver? Is that
no,
that's me. That's me.
Yeah,
that's the other lady on the phone.
At this point. Yes, Empress.
She talked first, and now you were speaking to me.
And now
I'm Ishtar.
So I wanted to be sure that I address both of you properly.
Okay.
Empress Lady Silver and Empress Ishtar. It is nice to make the connection. I love it. Thank you so much for your matriarchal,
and
sovereign,
thank you.
Islam.
Thank you so much, Islam.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Empress. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Yes. So Justice Jiramore, he mentioned in the chat, COVID-19 and all other manufactured dis-ease is outside of the body. That's not something that's, inside. It's outside the body. Are there any other questions or comments? There were two emperors that were going to say something, bring
Islam Empress, right? None of it. I wanted to share reference the utility piece demonstration that we were doing. After leaning the straw person and leaning the corporate utility, we accepted for value the bill of attainder and used our principal as to take care of that, and required the utility to only contact the secured party concerning that any future communications. So they continue. This happened in May. They continue to send the bill of attainder, and at the 45-degree angle in red, we put return to sender wrong mailing location, and that's been since May. However, we did go ahead and prepare, getting the generator, do everything that we needed to for that utility, but it's just like sending in that bill of attainder back to them, and it's business as usual.
It's business as usual, so the utility is still on?
Yes, since May.
Beautiful. Since May, and it's already January. That's beautiful. I love that process. So lay out the process really quickly for us again, Justice Nana.
We leaned the straw that the name was in. Then we also leaned the corporate utility, and we did exchange of the acceptance of value on it. And as the secured creditor, we required them to use our principal as deduction to take care of that, and that any further communication concerning that should be directed to the secured creditor, which was me with the lien. And they keep sending it to the dead corpse, and no one hear about that name, so it's returned, dated, and signed to return to sender wrong address, wrong mailing location.
Wow, beautiful. Justice Nana, can you scan in or forward what you sent, the documents that you sent them to do that process so that we can share it with the Moors?
Yeah, I'll have to get my daughter. She assists me with that. I'm getting more computer literate, but I'm not there all the way. So yeah, I can do that. But it'll be.
Apparently, it's not stopping anything that you're not computer literate. It's not stopping a thing. So yeah, if you would do that and just email it, and then send me a text when you email it so that I'll know to go and look at the email specifically for that too.
Islam, we'll do that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your gift that you've given to the heirs today. Thank you.
Islam.
Heirs, we've got this. We've got this already. Islam. There was another heir that was going to speak. Islam. Okay.
I made a mistake and hit it, like.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Islam. Thank you, Justice Nael. Okay, that is all we have at this time. We will continue this on this same platform on Wednesday, and then that's Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern, which is 9 a.m. Pacific, and it's 11 Central, and then on Thursday. At 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be right back here with more information, more calling, more sharing. And thank you. That's what the sharing piece is all about. Is let's just keep sharing information so that we can, because we got this already. I mean, everyone knows that. We know it too. And so, with that being said, and then we'll be right back here again on next week on Sunday. Peace and grand rising to the heirs. Islam.
Peace and grand rising.
Peace and grand rising.
Islam.
I didn't know that there were two. So
Islam.
Love more. Grand rising.
Yeah, I just want two things.
I say to our ancestors, I say to our heirs.
Grand rising, Washington.
I was looking at that, you know, on the wheel, as they suggest, you should realize that you should stay engaged. I was thinking,